Hey, what's up? It's Jared with Ditch Auto. Today we're going to talk about the Nikon Z6 and Z7 and their finally announced ability to shoot 4K ProRes RAW over HDMI. I'm pretty excited about that, but I'm also having to wait because these cameras not yet are unlocked. Nikon announced this ability now that it's finally here to be able to record 4K ProRes RAW out of the camera into a recorder that can do ProRes, such as the Atomos Ninja 5 and different Ninja lines. Of course, Atomos has several monitors that will be able to achieve this, but you actually have to send in your camera and have a hardware upgrade done to the camera, which is a little frustrating, and it's going to come at a cost just under $200 US in order to unlock this. Now, I kind of understand, being somebody who understands hardware and its limitations. It is a little frustrating because it sounded like it was going to be a free upgrade for the longest time. And of course, with all of the waiting that we've had, and of course, earlier this year, I went to NAB in Las Vegas and they talked about it and got everybody all excited about it. And it's over half a year later and we're finally getting it, but we have to send our cameras in and spend $200 in order to upgrade that. And I have both the Z6 and the Z7 here, which means if I wanted to do that to these cameras, I would have to send them in. Now, thankfully, I probably won't have to do that. I did put in a request, and I'm hoping I will be able to get some help with that so that I can test this and share it with all of you on this channel. But for right now, I'm just left really trying to understand who needs 4K ProRes RAW in the first place. Now, I wanted it because I do occasionally shoot some real estate, and when I shoot some real estate, I want the images just to be extremely deep as far as their realism. And sometimes that means adding a lot in post. Now, if you look at what is popular real estate photography these days, a lot of it is HDR photography, where it's a little surreal. You kind of have a lot of detail in your shadows and your highlights. And so the image is it's not a typical image. And the reason that we do this is so you could really get a good idea of what the inside of that home looks like without all of the shadows, because, you know, a typical image is going to have a lot of shadows. A lot of images in homes, you can't just turn on a ton of lights. You turn on all the lights and it still isn't enough. And unless you bring in a ton of artificial light, a lot of times going and kind of making an HDR image out of the image that you're shooting definitely helps. And you can shoot HDMR images with cameras like this. That's been around for a long time. But the ability to do something like that with video has always been a bit trickier because you just didn't have that dynamic range. For shooting pretty much anything else, 4K RAW is going to help because you will get that additional dynamic range. When I shoot raw images with my Z6 or my Z7 here, I'm shooting raw images because when I take them and edit them, I want a little bit more data to work with. If I shoot JPEGs, those JPEGs are already compressed and I don't have as much data to work with if I need to color correct that image, or if I need to pull some detail back out of the dark shadow areas of that image. My JPEG is not going to have enough detail there for me to do that, whereas a raw image will give me a lot more to work with. And the same goes with video. Now, this is 4K ProRes RAW, which is not the same as 4K Cinema DNG, which is a true RAW. Now, true RAW is you're actually shooting 30 frames per second. You're getting 30 DNG images per second, or any form of RAW. DNG being the common one. I have the Inspire 2 drone, which I purchased the unlock for that so that I could shoot both in ProRes and I could shoot Cinema DNG. Cinema DNG is a crazy amount of files and a huge amount of storage that is required in order to shoot at that level, but it's extremely useful in the right circumstances. And so being able to shoot 4K RAW on a camera like this, you are getting ProRes RAW, which is not the same as individual DNG files for every single frame that you shoot, but it still is a lot better than just standard ProRes. So the need to have the camera upgraded probably comes from its ability to be able to get enough data out over an HDMI cable and into that Ninja. And the way that they work now is that the camera sends out an HDMI signal. It is able to send a higher quality HDMI signal out than you typically would get recorded to the card itself. But there's probably something interesting going on between this camera and the Atomos Ninja 5, because the Atomos line is the only monitor that has been announced that it's working with this currently. So I would imagine that they're utilizing HDMI, and they're utilizing HDMI to talk differently than just a standard HDMI signal. So I imagine if you had your camera in 4K raw output mode and you plugged it into a television or any other sort of monitor, it probably isn't going to know how to translate that. And that's probably why there needs to be some sort of a physical update to the camera, because they just could not make it happen over HDMI using standard HDMI protocols. And so to me, I totally understand that. It is frustrating that it's going to cost a couple $100 in order to produce this upgrade. Now I know that this upgrade has to be done by authorized repair centers that are Nikon. Not all of those are Nikon themselves. And so there has to be a cost. Otherwise, Nikon would have to pay that cost in order to pay the Nikon repair centers for the work that they're about to do. And then I would assume that the hardware upgrade has something to do with maybe that HDMI module that is here. There's something that needs to be changed there, and it has to be hardware, because a software unlock could be done, the same way that we do a firmware upgrade. You could purchase it, you could get the file, they could encrypt it to the serial number of the camera or something like that. But the fact that they can't do that without us sending our cameras in tells me that it has to be some sort of a hardware upgrade. So with that said, a $200 hardware upgrade and having to send in your camera, it seems like a lot to have to do. And then on top of that, you have to have an Atomos Ninja 5. And if you purchase the filmmaker's kit, which the Z6 does come in a filmmaker's kit that comes with the Atomos Ninja 5, and it comes with a gimbal and a few cables and stuff as well. If you purchase that and show proof of purchase, they will waive the fee because you bought it as a filmmaker's kit, and they promised the filmmaker's kit that there would be that 4K ProRES RAW. They didn't apparently promise people that just bought the camera by itself. So with that said, if you bought the filmmaker's kit, which I doubt many people did, they will get the upgrade for free. The rest of us will have to pay the $200 to have our camera, and that also on top of that is paying shipping to get it to and from the nearest authorized Nikon repair center. And supposedly that process is a quick turnaround, but nobody has experienced that yet, so we don't have any real insight as to how fast that really goes. So, do you need this upgrade? I think it's really going to be an interesting conversation that you're going to have with yourself and maybe whoever else you're working with your camera. I don't think the average person is really going to need it. If you have an Atomos recorder and you connect that to your Nikon Z6, you're already able to get 10-bit ProRes, high-quality ProRes that the Atomos will produce on its own. It's not RAW. Essentially, it is kind of like a high-end JPEG, but it is really good quality footage. And if you set your white balance and if you check your exposure and make sure that everything is good, you're not really going to have a problem shooting just out of the Nikon Z6 itself into the Atomos. And I'm talking more about the Z6 because the Z6 doesn't do any sort of cropping on the sensor in order to produce that 4K image, whereas the Z7 does. I don't see the Z7 as really that great of an option if your primary need is to shoot video. And I'll talk more about that in a video that I have coming up, which is a comparison between the Z6 and the Z7. So I'll talk more about that. Make sure to subscribe to the channel here so you get notified when that video comes out. But if you are constantly needing to correct your image, and what I mean by correct your image is color correct it to the point where you're matching it to other footage, and maybe that other footage does have a lot more flexibility because it's not a mirrorless type of camera like this, but maybe more of a cinema camera, and you're typically having issues with matching this footage, that's when you might want to look for RAW. If you are producing an image for the video that you're filming that is highly changed, that is highly corrected, and it's not a standard image with maybe a little bit added to it like the image that I produced for this video that you're looking at, then you might want to go RAW because you're going to have a lot more data to work with, and you're not going to get so much artifacting and issues and banding issues with over color correcting an image that just doesn't have the data there to support it. So that's where you might see shooting 4K ProRes RAW would make sense, is if you really need to push that footage to a deeper level. But for the average person who's shooting weddings, who's shooting events, who's shooting YouTube videos like me, we're not going to need 4K. You might need 4K if you want to make your images, your videos look really HDR, like I talked about earlier, because you have so much more data. You can push the contrast from both ends. You can also sharpen it a lot more. There's a lot more that you'd be able to do there. That would be a use case. And then another use case, of course, would be matching it to other content. And so for me, I keep going back to the real estate option because I would, of course, be color correcting the raw images that came out of my camera. And a lot of times with homes, there's different color temperature of lighting. There's light spilling in from windows and lots of different things going on when you're shooting real estate. And so you end up doing a lot of matching with your images and making changes to the color of your images when you're shooting photos. And so when you're shooting video, you might also need to do that to make everything match and look the same. So I'm excited about that because I can now match my photos better to the video that I'd be shooting for the realtors that I produce video for. But there are a lot of reasons where it just wouldn't make sense. You would essentially be capturing extremely large sized files, which nobody has really shared the size of the files and what that is going to look like yet, because the only people that have actually even used this have used beta versions, and nobody's really shared that information. But from my experience with the Inspire 2 and other cameras that do have the option to shoot ProRes, that do have the option to shoot ProRes RAW, and then even Cinema DNG, the ProRes RAW is a pretty large file. It's not as massive as Cinema DNG, but it still is a pretty large file compared to a standard ProRes file. And the video that I am recording right now, before I edit it, when I take it right out of the Atomos, is going to be gigabytes, multiple gigabytes. It's a pretty large image. And then even when I render out my final video, it's still going to be 6 to 10 gigabytes in size, depending on how long this video ends up being. So it's a lot of data, and it may or may not be something that you absolutely need. So consider that before you go and send your camera off and spend hundreds of dollars on that upgrade. But that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.